so psycho. Too many drunk white hoes. Said I want what I might though. Walking on a tightrope.
What's going on, guys, and welcome back to yet another Gmod video. And today I'm going to teach you guys how to build an OP base. Now, I know I had a video called this of a DarkRP rags to riches, but that wasn't really me teaching you, that was really me just building a base on camera. However, this time I'm going to physically teach you how to build an OP base. Now, the first step to this is obviously finding the location you want to build in. And the second step is to build in that location. And then the third step is to save it, right? So let me teach you how that's done. So when looking for a location to base in, you don't want to pick somewhere too small like this to build, but you also don't want to pick somewhere too big or too much stuff inside like that to build. As if you do that, that is going to be hard to build around. So usually you want to pick somewhere like this factory, any of these factories, or somewhere like even that place back here. This is where I'm going to build actually, back here. So the reason I picked this place is because decently sized, but it also has one of these guys outside, which is how you clean the red money, which you get down here. So you clean that, right? So let's buy these doors. Let's follow the rules and put down a building sign, just like that. So I'm going to lock that door and lock that door. And keep this door open. Right, so now first what we're going to do is spawn these fences. You could use these ones, but I just prefer the other ones. There's no real benefit to using these ones. They're both the same size, apart from this one's a bit taller. But the only benefit to using this back one is that there's no gap at the bottom, as you see. So you don't have to put it in the floor. There's also no gap at the top, and there's none of this like lip stuff that picks you up and pushes you around, because like it's just fully flat. So yeah, that's why I use this one instead. There is no real issue with using the other one. I just prefer to use this one. So now we're going to use the precision tool, and hold up, let me show you how I'm doing that actually. So on the precision tool, you want to click this one, move. You know it's clicked when it has these two arrows on it, because that's the one you've set, right? And yeah, so now all you do is you left click on the prop, and then you left click twice to place it, right? Now this is too low, so I'm going to left click again and move it up a bit, and that should be around perfect. So I'm going to make sure that this is in properly. Now what I'm going to do is use the same fence. I'm going to spawn it in again, which is down here somewhere. Yep. Spawn it again. Use the precision tool again. Select it. And put it in so it's around the same height. Now you want to use the precision tool on move and press R, and it'll pull it closer towards you. You see that? And you want to pull it until you can't move anymore, and then push it forwards one. So that's now perfect distance, and they can't wiggle around, right? So now once you've got that, you want to grab, using the advanced duplicator, right click that prop, and you just want to spawn it somewhere here. That's too far in the wall. Doesn't matter where you spawn it, because you're just taking the same position values, so that when you stack, it goes the same way. So now what you want to do is line this up with this, place it in, and just pull it towards you, a couple, and you want to walk around this side, and now push it until you can fit through, and you want to go in just until you can fit through, so that it keeps it all tight and hard for them to actually raid, like that. There you go. Now what you want to do again is come to the stacker tool, sorry. You want to reset all of your offsets, make sure these are all 0. Set this to front, because you see this is coming this way, and we want it to come this way. Why can I see that? That is weird. Anyway, so now you want to pull this forwards, and you want to do some experiment here. You want to see if it's just the right amount where you can fit. And the way I'm accessing the menu through this way is holding C, and you can just access it here, so you don't have to hold Q and do it that way. So that's pretty alright. I'm going to change it down to 30 though. 30 might be the right number. Oh, that one got a bit stingy there. That might be too close. Yeah, that's too close. So we'll go 30.5 maybe. So yeah, 30.5 might do this one. So now I can't even see if it fits, because you know, just stand here if I can walk through. No. So we'll go back to 30.7. Maybe that will enable us to walk through here. It recollided for a second. Okay, maybe 30.75. I want to get this so perfect so that they can't. This one's might be actually perfect. Hold up. No, it's not. So maybe it's 30.86, like what it was before. Maybe that is just the minimum. Yeah, that's quite tight. So now what you want to do is use these offsets down here, left and right, to pull it so that these are now touching here. And you want to make sure this is perfect by coming here, tapping it, not like that, tapping it there with right click to push it away from you, so that you've got this now zigzag style base. Now, there's many things you can do here. Instead of having it go zigzag, 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 you can switch the direction and make it go up and down, or you can keep it going this way. For simplicity's sake, we're going to keep it going this way. So you're going to keep it selected on front. Now you're going to move this to 68.9. This is the exact value to make sure that, no it's not, ignore me. I think it was 67.9. Hold up, I don't remember the exact value. It's been a while since I built a base. Oh wow, you can go pretty small with this. Okay, so the exact value is 66.8 if you're following this. So you want to set all of this to 66.8 and just keep stacking it. Now you see, the further you go, it's up to you. Let's say we want to stop there, right? So now if we run through this, you'll see how tight this is, which makes sure that it's all, oh, oops. And you should make sure that you can run through all of it. There's no issue with doing it. And there we go, perfect. We can do that, so that's absolutely perfect. Now, we haven't used very many props here, but we've got quite a big base, right? So if you switch this to left, obviously if you go somewhere that's bigger than, that's not left, switch this to left. If you go somewhere that's a bigger factory than this, you can make more props. But because my factory isn't too big, I can't really do many props. So we'll just put that to there. And now you have this. Now they're fully enclosed, right? Now comes the time where we choose the material for the fences, so that we don't have the material later. You want to use this wireframe here. So as model/wireframe, you can scroll down, or you can just type all the way up here. Just type wireframe, or just wire, and it will be the first one. And you select that. Then you set all of these to that. So there is a rule on Elitelupus that you can't have semi-transparent things. So let's say you're going to have a fence and you material it this white here, and then you come to color and you color it whatever color but drag this down. This isn't allowed. And the reason for that is because if I start stacking this backwards, you'll start to see that slowly the visibility starts to become extremely limited, right? And you'll find within a couple of fences it's solid, you can't see through. So if you're wall banging this and you have a world glow on this side so you can see them and you peek through and wall bang, that's not really fair, so they don't allow that. Alright, so now we pick a color theme that we want for the base. I'm going to go over green. I'm going to set all of these fences to world glow. And the reason that is so you don't see them when looking through the base, so it doesn't distract you from the actual base itself. However, it also makes the base look very hard to raid, you know what I mean? Because it's all bright and in your face. Right. So now it comes the roof. Now, some people do the peeking windows first. I do the roof first. And that is so that I can make it look neat. And usually it's this prop I use. No, not this prop. There's a bigger one. Hold on. This prop. Here it is. Usually I use this one. Because it's the biggest prop that we can physically spawn, which means we don't have to use as many props. And if I just put it here, push it that way a bit, push it down a bit, this should expand the entire way. You know, that's too big. I need to push it more that way. But as you can see, this prop is more than big enough to cover the entirety of the top of this. Now, we want to make sure the collisions are enabled so that when you run over the top of it, and when you're underneath, you can't, like, you know, jump out. So we want to pull this until it's just about equal on both sides. Best way to check this is come in here. So we keep pushing. There's 4 on each side, I think that should be fine. And it's just 3, that is 4. So we'll go just a bit more. I think that will be about right. There we go. Now we're about equal on each side, which is beautiful. Right, now we want to pull this down until you can't jump anymore. And the reason we do this is so that V2 admin suits can't jump when they're getting shot by AMR 11s. I think that's what they're called. I don't even know what they're called. Or getting sprayed by V2 miniguns or whatever else you have that kills V2 admin suits. Yeah. Quick tip for you when you're building bases like this, make sure there's not only one peak point and there's multiple, because V2 admin suits will just sit there and absorb all your bullets while spraying you until you die, essentially, because they are basically immune to anything. Now, if you want to kill an admin suit V2 very fast, you want to use things like AK Vulcan, that is OP. So now we're going to pull this to match exactly what matches over here to make it, you know, nice and neat. I think that's about right. Yeah, I'll say that's about right. So now once you've done that, that is your roof done. Now we're going to color this as well. Let's use 2 props for the roof instead of like 4 or 5 that people would have used. Now we want to make this like this nice grey color. And now we need to block off that, you know, that gap, because it's very to block off that gap because it's very not smallpox proof. That is the word I'm looking for. That is not the word I'm looking for, but it's gonna do. Alright, so we want to put this just in the roof, but not sticking through the other side, and pull it this way. Now that might not even be down far enough, so I'm gonna have to move this down a little bit. There we go. I want to push it all the way to where it connects with the wall, and bring it this way a little bit. Now there's no way people can get small pot through there. So that's all you got to be careful for, really, is small pots, because they can get through basically all of your base if you have gaps. Right, so now we want to deal with this issue. Now we're going to use these props for this. I'm going to make sure there's an airlock included. Now airlocks are important so you don't let people that are in active camo in your base on accident, or so you don't like accidentally no-collide someone in when you're not supposed to. You know what I mean? So you can get out of your base in peace, essentially. Now you just want to make sure that this is also small pot proof, because you don't want people small potting through your airlock. That won't be a good idea, because, you know, that's a bit gonna get you in a bit of trouble. The amount of times that people have got through my airlock because people don't know how to either no collide it correctly, or, you know, just genuinely can't use an airlock. I don't think that goes to the top, does it? No, it does. So why does that look different? Oh no, it doesn't. See there, I would have got caught out if I left this base how it was, because look, see how that does not go to the top of that? They would have been able to get a small pot through there, and I would have got my ass raided. So we're going to get a bigger one. That's the same exact size, so this one. I'm going to grab it this time and put it up like this. Now the reason we do it this way is so that it doesn't stick into the top part, but instead sticks into the floor. Now we're going to pull it like this. Perfect. Now we're going to get one of these props here. I'm going to grab it like this again. Now this one has to stick upwards, because otherwise we can't get underneath it. So if we put that there, we want to make sure that we've, you know, covered that gap. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to stacker this front and make it go down. And there we go. Now we have our first prop of the airlock in. And now we're just going to grab that exact prop again. We're going to use the precision tool. Grab it. That's the wrong way. Just put it there. We're going to grab it by this part up here. And make it so it goes just exactly the same size as that. Now you're going to stacker this upwards. You're going to make it so it goes all the way across. Now an airlock, you want to make it as tight as possible, so there's only one or two people that can fit in. Usually I do 2, just in case you have to no-collide someone in your base to sell printers or something. But that is up to you on how you do that. I'm going to use a different prop here, because I don't want it to stick out like that, because that's quite ugly. I'm going to use this prop, I think. Might be big enough. Yeah, it's actually quite good size for that. Now we're going to make sure that this is perfectly heighted and pushed in. Right. Now we're going to grab another one of these so that we can actually roof the thing off to make it a full airlock, and that no one can actually just sneak in. That is too big. We're going to go for a smaller one, which would be this one. Now I hope this isn't too small because that's going to be a pain in the ass to work with. No, this seems perfect size actually. So we're just going to smack this just there, like that. Pull it down as far as we can. Just like that. Now we're going to no collide out of it because we don't want to be trapped in our own airlock. And now we're just going to make sure it's level with that. Just there, looks fine actually. Now we're going to go through and materialize all of this because, you know, that's important as well. Use World Glow on all of these. We're going to get a green because that's the color we're using. Now this one, we're allowed to use the transparent material since we're not going to be able to shoot through it. And we're only using it for the airlock, you know what I mean? There we go. Material. Now we're going to come through this side as well. And there you go. There's your airlock done. Now there's a way for you and your clan members to get into your base. How has that got no collide? Without getting inside raided from someone that's just decided to active camo in. And there you go. Now you've got an airlock and the base of the base. The base of the base. Lovely. And now we're going to use these. And the reason I'm going to use these is because we're going to set up the actual shooty shoot parts. Oh, I jumped really high then. Whatever the shooty shoot parts may mean, I don't actually know. But now we're going to spin this right the way around just by twisting our mouse. And then push it this way. Disable the collision so we can get out of it. We want to push it just to like about here where we can stacker it, no problem. Stacker it up. And then that should be quite close to being flush with the edge. Now this is why I let the roof overhang, is to make this as close as I can to being flush. I'm going to push this all the way in so that we can use the maximum amount of space that we can to peak. So you see this. And then we're going to set the background to this. So if you don't know how to do World Glow, all you have to do is set this to the color you want it. And you slide this all the way up to opacity. So I'm going to use black. Since all of that's going to be green, this is grey, so it's not a blackout base. And then we're going to use stacker. I'm going to stack this to the right. We're going to stack this to the right again by pulling this back. Just there. Now this is seriously how simple bases are to make. Well, the more experience you get with it, obviously the faster you're going to be with making them. But there is no rush to making bases. It's just however long it takes you, you know what I mean? Now make sure these are all no collided. Now that's one wall done. Now you want to grab the same in prop. What's this one, I think? You want to grab it in the same way, like this, set it like that, jump on top, grab it like this, smack it just there, spin it right the way around again, just like that, put it in. And you want to get it like be in line as much as possible. I want to push the roof in here so that it's in line, but I don't have to move the outside props. Make that World Glow, because we're going to do the World Glow one first. I'm going to stack this down. I'm just going to push it into itself again like we did last time. Twice. With the material tool, grab that, put it there. Grab the black that we used there, put it there. And there we go. Now we have the second wall in. Now you might start to notice a theme here, is that this base is almost done. Obviously we forgot the fading doors. We'll do that in a second, because what's a base without fading doors? Not a base, because you can't get inside. I mean, you can get inside, but very easily. I want to get this stupid advanced duplicated like vents off my screen real quick. Pull it this way just a bit, as well as this one. Now we want to come over this way, make sure there's no sticky through black bit, which is good. Alright, we need to spawn that same prop in one more time. That is the wrong one. This is the right one. Now we want to grab it again with a precision. That's an axis tool. Precision tool. That is the wrong way. Precision tool. Grab. Place it down again. Grab it this way. Place it down again. This so I don't have to jump up because I'm too lazy to do that right now. And we put this here. Spin it right the way around. We went the wrong way around here, but oh well. Doesn't take too long to spin around anyway. So there we go. Now we pull it this way. Line these two corners up. Grab the material tool. Select. Bang. Done. Now we use the stacker tool again. Stacker this down. Now what's really good about this base so far is that there's so many peaking points that there's no way for someone to predict where you're going to peak next, which is really good. As you can clearly see, you can peek from anywhere around this base, and there's not really much they can do about it because you can just keep moving and moving and moving, and that's what makes these bases so OP, is how much you can move around while shooting out. Now, you never really want to have it so you only have one defense on a base. So like, if you have one side shooting, that's not what you want to do, because all it takes is someone to sit there with one of these, and the left click, it kind of like beams, and if they sit there with one of that, beam in this, you're kind of not going to be able to live much longer, that's for certain. Alright, now let's fix this, because it's annoying me. Bam, push that in. Make sure there's no more of that, which is lovely. So now what we've ended up with is the entirety, essentially, of the base. Looks very clean. Now what we need to do is go to construction props, grab one of these barred fences. This is for the defense door. Push it down. Now you want to measure it to match the size of that. And you want to grab it with the advanced duplicator tool. Now you want to be careful with this tool, because if you grab the wrong spot, it's going to not work very well. Or you want to pull it this way and push it in, because you don't want it to really stick out much, because you want your base to look nice, obviously. There we go. You want to material it, and you want to color it black without a glow this time, so when you see, look, you can see it. Now you want to use the stacker tool to stacker this front, add some distance onto it. No collide this one, no collide this one. We're going to leave that one no collide for now, because we're going to have to go through and add the rest of the fences. Now we can remove this. Now you may be asking me why the hell we put that there. It's to stop people from shooting the defense door from outside, because people will just sit outside and shoot your defense door just to make you annoyed, or to make it easier for their friend to raid or something. Now we're going to pull this all the way in and stacker it. Now I know this doesn't look good right now, we'll fix it after, but we're going to put all the doors in first. Bam. So that's 2, and we're just going to slap the last one. Now we're going to go through to the color tool and make all of these the color that you've chosen for your doors to be, which is obviously black, or whatever color. In my instance, it's black. Whatever color you chose is whatever color you make it. Now you want to come to these sides and put the precision tool up quite a bit, because it's going to take a while to precision in, and you want to push it in. Now you want to do that so that obviously there's no blockage when you're trying to defend. And then we push this in. Also, be wary, be careful when you're building a base when purge is happening, because people will just run up to your building sign, kill you, and there's nothing that you can do about it, because it's purge, you know what I mean? Right, so this base is now done, and yeah, now we just come over here and make sure we recollide the defense doors prop, and there we go. That is how to build an OP base. And let me quickly run through on how this is defended. So you use your pistol or whatever you got, and you peek, you shoot, you peek, you shoot, and you always make sure you're moving location so that they can't predict you, and don't move the same way constantly. Make sure you're changing the direction you move, and make sure you've pulled all the way back before you're moving, because otherwise when you do this, they're going to see where your neck's going to peek from, and they have a chance to shoot you as well. Alright, another thing to be wary of, you cannot shoot down here, this area, because obviously your defense door is there. A way to counter this is by putting the defense door this way, horizontal. No, yeah, they're all horizontal, but like this way, so it covers this gap. However, then you won't be able to shoot down here if they're shooting your defense door, or down here. So this is really a compromise you have to come up with. That's up to you on how you want to do that. Now, how do you save the base? You hold shift and right click to bring up this green box, which for some reason vanished. There we go. Then you use this area copy size, you drag it all the way to max. Right click on the prop and you'll start to see it ghosting. You want to go to wherever you're going to save it. I'm going to save it here. You want to save it and call it whatever you want. This one is going to be app 20 base 2. And once you've saved that, done. That is a base and it's complete. Right? Now another thing you can do is go through and shadow remove all of these to bring out the color a bit more. Now I do warn you, it brings everything to be really bright, And once you've done this, basically no one can claim it's shadow base. I mean, not shadow base, sorry, blackout, because that is two very different colors. So yeah, that is how you build a very OP base in Gmod. If you liked the video and it helped you, please smash the like button. If you want to see more of my videos, click on the little channel button, and please subscribe and turn on notifications, because then you get notified anytime I upload. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.
I might just go psycho. Too many drunk white hoes. Said I won't, but I might though. Walking on